Okay, so yes, the second edition of our player comparison videos, and this time around, it's also another set of players that their comparison did not just end on the pitch, but also happened off the pitch as well, because these two players had lots of drama surrounding them, even off the pitch. I mean, in 2012, Roy Hodgson had to pick between one of these two players because of a certain issue, but that's by the way. We're going to be talking more about what both players did on the pitch. And when you talk about defenders in the Premier League, very few come to mind when you talk about all timers. But any way you want to look at it, John Terry and Rio Ferdinand are two names that must always come out of that. And just before we go into it, to all our viewers watching out there, don't forget to, drop your comments, because we are definitely going to disagree as usual. Who do you think is probably the standout player between both guys? But of course, let's hear what we have to say first of all. Max, just a quick one to you, yeah? We both know that, or we all know, all three of us know that John Terry and Rio Ferdinand were elite defenders in their days. But in your opinion, who was superior as a defender?
Well, it's actually controversial from my side because I'm a United fan, as you know, but actually for me, the Terry play was a bit better for me, at least stat-wise and trophy-wise, leadership-wise, so I'd say
An honest
Terry was...
Manchester United fan.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So you're using just the fact that he was more of a leader to say he's better than Rio Ferdinand. Fair enough. I mean, but Victor, I don't know what your opinion is, but for you, who was the overall standout player, or rather, what ability did one of them have over the other to make him more superior?
Yeah, you mentioned it's a very tough choice and that we're going to disagree. I'm almost disagreeing with myself at times, like looking at this comparison. And as a defender, I agree with Max. I think Terry was better, but it's very hard to pick one that was better overall. Okay, and let's look at them separately for a bit. I think Rio Ferdinand's composure as a foundation for United's attack was something new. He was able to withstand pressure. He wasn't panicking and just clearing the ball wherever. He was a bit of a pioneer when it came to ball playing center backs. Yeah, involved in the attacking build-up. He was more complete with his technical skills, with his speed, better than Terry's. On the other hand, John Terry, leadership skills up the wazoo, more than the current Chelsea squad put together, I think, and more than Rio Ferdinand, definitely. I would. He wasn't necessarily a calming presence like how you would look at Van Dijk nowadays or Company in years past, but he would light a fire under his teammates and make sure everyone was at their best. If you look at trophies, it's hard to separate them based on trophies as well.
Yeah.
15 major trophies each. If you look at transfer marked, the highest value for transfer is the same for both as well, 35 million at their peak. Minutes played, also tight. Terry had more goals, but that's not all it boils down to. Personally, as the overall player, I'd maybe go with Ferdinand, but it's incredibly tight for this.
Fair enough. So now, just progressing to the next question. Um, so now that you said all you said about both players, if you were a manager, Victor, which of them would you rather have in your team?
Yeah, Terry would walk through a brick wall for you and for his team. There was nothing he wasn't going to do to make sure they don't concede. That record of 15 goals let in over a whole season will probably never be broken. He was a huge part of that accomplishment. And I think as a manager, I would pick John Terry, but ideally without the private life drama, if you remember the whole Wayne Bridge debacle.
Yeah, fair enough. Max, who would you rather have in your team if you were a manager?
I think I'll stick with Terry because he's a better leader that we're lacking now for United at least. So I'd definitely pick him.
Interesting. Okay, so the next question is probably going to take a bit of a turn from who was the more better player in question. When we look at the playing style for both players, Victor already detailed it well that they were very different in their normal defending instincts. But which of these defenders do we think will be more suitable to modern football right now, and what is expected of a defender, Victor?
I'd probably go with Ferdinand.
Yeah.
Managers today love having ball playing center backs, and the style of just hoofing it up the pitch, it's pretty much extinct among the big clubs. He also had more flair than Terry and was more comfortable passing it out the back, building from the back. He was a better athlete, first and foremost, because of the speed. So I think for today's day and age, rather Ferdinand over Terry.
Yeah, fair enough. I think I agree with that 100%. And just on the final note, Max, in the current climate of things, if both players taking their playing styles into account, if they were still in the current modern football, would they still be regarded as elite?
Uh, yeah, I'd say probably yes, because we don't have a lot of high tier defenders now in league. So probably their skills would be still enough for being an elite player, like Van Dijk, for example, as you said. Maybe they're playing a bit different football, but still it would be good for every team in league.
Yeah, fair enough. Although I sort of have, different opinion. I sort of think Terry might not necessarily be regarded as elite in this current time. I feel like he would just be an okay defender. Oh yeah, that guy is okay. He's decent. I think Ferdinand will be regarded as more elite because he will be seen as a defender that can build up the attack. He can make those long range passes. He can add something extra, to his side more than Terry. I don't know. I just sort of feel like Terry will have been maybe okay or slightly above average, but not exceptional. Victor, what do you think?
I th- I think Ange Postecoglou would want to have even a taxidermy John Terry right now in his defense. um, I think they would still both be regarded as elite. They
Mm,
either one, I think, would walk into any Premier League starting 11. Even in the case of Arsenal, who to me have the most balanced and most valuable centre back pairing in the division.
mm-hmm.
I always feel like great defenders will never go out of fashion, and
Yeah.
I disagree with your opinion about Terry being just okay because for me personally, someone who's just okay at the moment is
Mm-hmm.
maybe someone like Tyrone Mings. Um, I think Terry has many more facets to his game than someone like Mings does.
Yeah, fair enough. I think this is the very first time that all three of us are sort of agreeing because I think about all the questions, I'm also going to go with John Terry. I think the only one I would go with Ferdinand is who was more standout. And just like Victor said, Ferdinand was more of an athletic player than Terry. But I think in any other metric, I think John Terry pretty much stands out. So this was
Yeah,
not really,
I genuinely wasn't really expecting us to agree on much right now, but yeah,
yeah. So yeah, this
it
was this
works
was not
out
really
this
much
way.
of it was not really much of a disagreement compared to last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the next one is going to be pretty difficult. I mean, even for me, it's going to be pretty difficult because now it's going to involve an Arsenal player. So it's going to be pretty difficult. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. But anyways, to all our viewers out there, do you agree with all three of us here that John Terry is the player to pick over Rio Ferdinand. John Terry's leadership, everything he stood for just makes him special as a defender. And just like Victor said, I think 15 goals in a season. I think in the next 100 years to come, I think that record is still going to stand. Based on how the Premier League is right now, I think that record is still going to stand. And what John Terry has done is simply just amazing. Well, anyways, that's all we have in today's video. And next time, it's going to get even more difficult. And I'm very certain we are all not going to agree on that one.